Good day, good day. Thanks for joining me again. My name is Deb Howard, your abundant life coach. Listen, I am here to talk to you about prosperity principles, my weekly podcast here on this channel, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube every Thursday morning. You can join me live at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm excited about today because you know what? You are closer than you think. But before we get to that, let me remind you, I want to start off with this of our summit. We have a summit coming up, the Kingdom Wealth Warriors Summit. It is going to be held on Saturday, October 19th, 2024 in Houston, Texas. I want to make sure that you are aware of how you can register. I have it streaming below. It is wealthwarriorsarise.com. You can also go to debhowardonline.com. There's a link there to the registration. But I want to encourage you to be there. We have some amazing speakers that will be presenting, including myself. I'm excited about what God is going to do in order to take you to your next level. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get to today's subject. You are closer than you think. Listen, I know many times in life we feel like we are just spinning our wheels, right? And let me talk to you entrepreneurs out there and even faith based leaders, right? Sometimes we are doing all the things, staying busy, trying to accomplish the thing that God has called us to do. And guess what? It just seems like nothing is happening, right? You don't really experience setbacks per se, but nothing is happening. So I thought about this the other day. I was reflecting on some things, and long story short, I used to be um, a road hog of a bit, right? I was on the road quite a bit. Road trips, yes, for the company that I worked for. And I remember this one time I was in a town that I wasn't familiar with, right? I had a meeting. I still remember because, man, I was scared. Anyway, let me get to the point. I left the hotel and like anyone, I had my GPS, right? I had on my phone. I had my GPS set to get to the location. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be early because early is on time. Okay, another subject. So I'm off. I get in my car. I'm off. Everything's fine. Listen, I get what I'm thinking about halfway there, right? Because I'm listening to the GPS. I had the voice on, so I really wasn't looking at the map. All of a sudden, I'm not hearing anything. I'm still driving, but I'm not hearing anything. So I look down, y'all. The GPS has stopped working. I don't know if you have ever experienced that, but it was an overcast day. And so I'm thinking that Uh, I'm thinking that, yeah, I don't know, the cloud cover, I don't know what it was, right? But the GPS stopped working. Well, of course, like anyone, I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, what should I do?" I'm on the road. I know I'm on the path, right? Because that was the last instruction I heard. Oh, boy, I wish I had somebody here. Um, that was the last instruction I heard. So I would still go on the path from the last instruction, but now I don't have the instructions for the next. I don't know if I should stop. Now I'm thinking, okay, the worst thing you can do is stop. Or maybe it's the best thing that you can do, right? Because I could stop and maybe, regather myself, right? Or I could keep going and maybe, number one, maybe the GPS will start working again. But number two, maybe I'll see the building because I remember the name of the street and I know the name of the building. I'm just not sure about the turns or, if there were turns. I'm not even sure if there are turns, right? Because I was listening to the instructions. And sometimes in life, right? We're going about, especially as faith-based people, right? We're going about doing, what we believe God has called us to do. We're following the instructions. All of a sudden, there's no more instructions. And I'm still doing that last thing, but I'm not seeing the results. All right. And so anyway, long story short, I kept driving. I didn't stop, even though I was still trying to figure out if my GPS would work, even though I was still wondering if I should stop, to ask for directions. I wasn't sure about asking for directions, in the place that I was in. And plus, it was raining. And so, all of this was going to waste time. But anyway, I kept going. And you know what happened? Child, I drove right past it. I drove right past the building. In fact, the funny thing is, I was closer than I thought to my destination. That's what I want to talk to you about. You are closer than you think. Sometimes we're going along doing the thing and we think we're not making progress. We think, I'm not making an impact. I'm not accomplishing the thing that God has called me to do. But you're closer than you think. You're closer than you think to your breakthrough. You're closer than you think to your destination, your goal, your dream. You're closer than you think to the next step. Just keep moving. Just keep going. Don't stop, right? That's the key. Don't stop. Sometimes we want to stop. Sometimes we want to give up. Listen, we're human, right? So I think we all have days in whatever endeavor that you're pursuing when you feel like this is not working. When you think to yourself, I just need to stop, right? I just need to do something else. I need to stop doing this and figure out something that I can be successful at. Listen, maybe I didn't hear right. Maybe I didn't get the right instructions. Keep moving. Keep moving. Listen, Thomas Edison once said, you know who Thomas Edison is? He was an inventor. He said many, many of us, right? Many of us fail because we don't realize how close success was before we gave up. Many of us fail not because we weren't making an impact, not because I'm not doing what God called me to do. Not because I'm not talented enough. I'm not all the I'm nots, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough. No, those aren't the reasons. The real reason is that many of us give up right before we reach success. So I want to encourage you. Look, there are times when you are going to be closer than you believe to the goal. So don't give up. Persevere. Let me give you one scripture. Let's talk about don't giving up, not giving up, right? Blessed is the one who perseveres under the trial, having stood the test. That person will receive the crown of life. Now, what does persevere mean? Persevere means to endure or stand strong under misfortune and trials, to hold fast to one's faith in Christ. So, what I want to submit to you is I want you to persevere, but I want you to have an attitude of perseverance. So many times we think persevere means tolerate. Listen, not in this context. If you're pursuing what God has called you to do, listen, you got to have a persevering attitude. And I think sometimes we forget that. We just kind of, tolerate the situation. I want you to get into a place where you are not just tolerating, but you are even enjoying. Come on now, rejoicing, right? In this season. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't despise the place that you're in because you're closer than you think. Don't become a person that tolerates the situations that God has put you in, that He has allowed you to be in. No, no, no. I need you to persevere, right? I need you to endure. I need you to stand in your faith, right? And in your trust in God. And I also need you to do it without complaining. Listen, if you were here last week, if you listened to this broadcast last week, we talked about complaining a bit. We talked about how complaining is an indicator of unbelief. So when we are persevering, listen, persevering doesn't mean complaining. It means that I am standing, right, in my faith, in the last direction that I heard, I'm going to keep going in that until I hear something else or until I reach my destination. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do it with an attitude, right, of joy. Listen, I'm going to do it with an attitude of gratitude. How about that? Gratitude is a strategy, but I have to persevere in that persevering attitude. So listen, you're closer than you think to your next, but I need you to position yourself to receive the next, right? Without complaining, without tolerating. Nobody likes to be tolerated. And so many times, what we're doing is we're going through these situations, we're going through the journey that God has placed us on, and we think we're persevering because I'm still doing it. I am still here. Come on now. I I didn't have to do this, but I'm doing it because God told me to do it. What kind? No, 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 no. That's not a persevering attitude. I hate to break that to you, right? Because that's just really an indicator of your own doubt. Right? I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to be in this place, but I'm gonna tolerate it. No, 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 no. So I want you to be encouraged today. Listen, be encouraged. Be encouraged. Keep moving. Keep going. If you don't hear anything, it's okay. Like me with the GPS, right? Just keep moving. You're closer than you think to your next. Listen, I'm out of here today. Thanks for joining me. Listen, don't forget about our Kingdom Wealth Warriors Summit. I'm reminding you again, October 19th, 2024 in Houston, Texas. You can go to wealthwarriorsarise.com to register. I appreciate you listening in to this broadcast. I hope to see you next week. Listen, next Thursday, we're going to continue this discussion, right? We're going to even go further with it. So I invite you to join me. And listen, if you're not a part of my Facebook group, I want to invite you to join my Facebook group, Kingdom Wealth Warriors Community on Facebook. If you go to debhowardonline.com, you'll also get that. I should scroll that. Yeah, if you go there, you'll actually see the registration link, you'll see my Facebook group, and you'll probably see some other things that might interest you, right? You can even get on the call with me, complimentary, and we can talk through some things. So, anyway, until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Go have your most abundant day.